Welcome. I'm a 54-year-old high school principal and I am trying to transform a bunch of areas of my life. Just one of them is the body, and I'm going to walk you through what I've been doing that has been succeeding. I'll show you before and after photos here and here so you can compare and judge for yourself should I even bother listening to this video. This is not one of those this is the exercise routine that I do and you can follow. I'm just telling you what I do. I'm an endomorph. My body does not want to drop fat. So what I do is very specific and works for me as an endomorph, and I have come back to it after years of trying everything there is. I have come back to Body for Life because I'm 54 and I really need to look after my health, look after my body, just overall. But this is a lifetime thing. This isn't just I'm losing weight now. We've all been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and now the t-shirt doesn't fit anymore. No, this is what I'm doing now and it is working, and this is the reason why I'm just showing you. If you are also at the stage of life where you want to actually drop kilos, look better, whatever, this is what I'm doing. And I'm not selling you anything. There's nothing to sell here. This is just what I'm doing, and you can find all the information on this exact thing free on the internet. There is nothing different. There's nothing that I'm selling you. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. In order to explain to you what I actually do, I have to explain the levels. 10 out of 10 is so hard that you physically and emotionally cannot do anymore. If it's cardio or weights, there is no way, physical or emotional way, that you could push through it to do anymore. 9 is your physical max, where you physically can't do anymore. 8 is hard, but it's okay. You could do a couple more. 7 is just okay. You could do quite a few more. If you're doing weights, that is. 6 is easy enough for you, and 5 is just easy. Okay, now that you know that this is the scale, I'm going to be walking you through how I do the cardios and how I do the weights. The cardios only go for 20 minutes, and you're going to be going in increments for a minute at a time. So you start off on 5, which is easy, and then you go up to 6, 7, 8, 9. So you remember your 9, and it doesn't matter what physical activity that you do. I usually either run on the treadie or I do it on the elliptical trainer. You can do it on a bike, you can do it in a circuit. Go out walking, jogging, it doesn't really matter how you go about it as long as you're getting to the intensity levels. So you're going to start off 5, and you're going to do 2 of 5, 2 minutes of 5, and then go 6, 7, 8, 9. Then go 6, 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 is the killer. Like, the 9's hard enough for a minute at a time, but the 10 is a killer. So here's some footage here of me this morning, and this is me explaining it as I go. So this is my last round. It's a 20-minute cardio only, which is when you're a busy person like me, about all that works for me. So you make your 20 minutes count. So I'm on level 6 at the moment. 10 is so hard you can't physically and emotionally do anymore. 9 is so hard you can't physically do anymore. 8's below that, 7's below that, 6 below that. I'm on 6 now. So I'm putting up a level to 7 now. And that's for 1 minute. So that should be so hard that you really don't want to talk. So that's level 7. And then we're going to go 8, 9, 10 for this round. So I'm up to level 8 now. Now you can do this jogging, on this, on a bike, out walking, jogging, sprinting. You can do circuits with like burpees and weights and stuff. It doesn't matter what exercise you do, as long as each minute you're going up the physical intensity. So I'm about to go up to a 9. Which is so hard. You physically can't do it anymore, which is what I'm doing now. And now it's down to level 5 for a minute. I'm busy. I have a really hectic, full job as a high school principal, but you probably have limited time too in your own circumstance. This is what works for me because it's only 20 minutes 3 times a week, and I can handle that. Would I prefer to just go walking? Yeah, but this system has proven historically to work for me, so I'm doing it, and I'm going to continue to do it because it is the one thing that I know actually succeeds at starting to give me the body that I want and the fitness I want and everything that I want. For the weights, what you'll be doing is only 3 sessions a week. And each of them is set up like this. You'll be doing 4 body parts. So when you're doing the weights, you're focusing on a body part at a time. So this whole chunk that I'm about to talk about is just for one body part at a time. This one, we might be doing an example of shoulders, where we're talking about getting the dumbbells and we're just doing dumbbell press, shoulder press. So you do 12 repetitions, but the intensity with which you do that must be of pretty lightweight because you only want an intensity of 5. Remember, 5 is really easy. Then 10 reps, you want an intensity of 6. So you're going to put up the weight so that you only feel the intensity of a 6. Then 8 repetitions, you want an intensity of a 7. You're putting up the weight again on the exact same thing. You're still doing shoulder press with dumbbells, so the dumbbells go up in weight. 6 repetitions where you only feel an intensity of 8. Now, if you recall, an 8 is hard, but you could do a couple more, okay? That is where you're at. Now, whatever weight that you used for the 7, you are going to be doing it again, that weight. You're going to be using a heavier weight here, then dropping it back to whatever weight that you use for the 7, and you're going to be doing 12 repetitions. So 12 repetitions to the point you physically can't do any more, which is why it's a 9. It's an intensity of a 9. You physically can't do any more. You can't push any more out. Then you put that weight down, you get a different, you're going to be using the same body part, but a different apparatus. So in this case, we might be doing standing flies with the dumbbells. So you're going to be using an appropriate weight that you can push out 12 repetitions, and you're going to get, so you emotionally can't do any more. That's a level 10. That's called a high point. And you'll be doing that per body part. So that this whole thing takes 5 to 7 minutes, doesn't take long for that one body part. And then you'll be doing, and you choose whatever body parts you want to put together. Hamstrings, shoulders, triceps and biceps together. But I always put some core work at the end of every single workout. So it's up to you how many. I always just do a couple of sets of 20 of things. Well, actually, that's not true. I do 5 sets of 20 of something for my core because I have a really weak lower back and I really need to strengthen my lower back using my core. So that's why I do that. You don't have to do that. That's what I do. And then you only have to do all of this 3 times a week. So ultimately, 4 body parts will be done twice in that week, but the next week, 4 other body parts will be done twice in that week, if that makes sense. Now, the food component is really straightforward. I'm going to turn this around and explain the food component. So for the food component, I can't stress this enough. I have done every version that there is in terms of trying to strip body fat and maintain muscle all throughout my life. This one has always ultimately worked, and I find this is the easiest one to stick to. Again, I'm not selling you anything. You can look this up. This is Body for Life. You can just go on the internet and look up Body for Life by Bill Phillips. Someone has, well, I haven't done it, but someone has loaded the whole book onto the internet somewhere. You can download it, read it, and it actually explains all this. And now, the food component is just a fist-sized portion of protein and a fist-sized portion of carbohydrates every single meal. It's meant to be 6 meals a day. I can't eat 6 meals a day for that. Like, if it was toast and, you know, cakes and biscuits and stuff, sure, I'd be able to do 6 meals a day. But for the fist-sized portion of carbs and the fist-sized portion of protein, I can't. And then obviously you're meant to have veg included as that, like in your meals and stuff. But that is the basic rule of thumb. Now, this time round, like, I'm 54, as I've said, and I'm getting older, and I'm not being too concerned about the fat levels in the food. Like, I used to always have to have egg whites and everything. No, I have 2 eggs and then a little bit of meat, like either bacon or ham or something, in the morning for breakfast. Like, I'm not too worried about the levels of fat in the food. And the reason being is because I'm basically sticking to the fist and fist every meal. And then obviously you can have, they call it cheat meals, but let's face it, I mean, we're all too old to have cheat meals. They're just meals that you want to have and things that you want to eat. And you can do that. I'm just doing 5 or 6 of those during the week. And yes, you're supposed to have it all in one day. And to be honest, if and when I ever do have it all in one day, that is actually the next day is when I have lost even more weight. So there must be something in having the higher calories and the higher carbohydrates on one day that actually help you drop the weight. That's what I have always found. And but I don't want to end up with huge overeating issues, which is when I put it all on one day, that's what I can end up with. This for me is something long term. This isn't just I'm losing weight, this is how I've done it, watch me on the internet. No, this is, I have to sustain my health given my age, and I have to be able to look like I feel like I am on the inside. And this is the reason why I've gone back to this. I didn't want to go back to any dieting because in 2020, I had pushed it so far. I looked like, I don't know, I'll put it here somewhere. I looked like this, and it wiped me out. I literally passed out at work because I was starving 30 times a day. I had to stop myself from passing out. Like, I would have to hold onto the walls when I was walking through my place of work at school because I was about to pass out. This was how bad it was. And that is what it, for me, for an endomorph, that's what it took to look like that. But at the end of 2020, after all the competitions kept dragging on and being delayed by a month and another month and another month, and I'd starved for 13 months to get in that condition, the judges didn't look at me. That is not worth looking at, just quietly in the bodybuilding world. So after that, I went, that is it. And I actually was so traumatized I couldn't walk into a gym. So it has been a long time, and I blew up to a size 16 and I've been stuck there for 5-6 years. And this is the reason now that I have trained my body to cope with doing any kind of physical activity, it's taken years to come back from that. I now need consistency. I now need stability. And now my body is trusting that I won't kill it like that anymore. It is allowing me to train. It is allowing me to cardio. It is allowing me to eat those foods, because that's the other challenge that I used to get. If I would ever eat keto and have meat and veg, I don't know about you, but I would end up with all of these bloating issues. I would end up with more problems than it was worth, and I would end up looking 5 months pregnant all the time, be in physical pain. I ended up being allergic to a whole bunch of foods that I'm trying now, only just now, to see if I can reintroduce, but all the cruciferous vegetables, all that broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, like everything you're supposed to eat. I became allergic to beef, allergic to tuna, allergic to garlic, allergic to onion. It's been really problematic, but I do believe that that's as a result of all I had put my body through. So this time round, I'm actually just doing it in a way that fits in my lifestyle. And my lifestyle as a busy high school principal is I'm time limited, And whatever I do has to really work for my health, for my fitness, and for my overall ability to bounce back in the day, maintain my flexibility, my strength, my movement. And you know, I wanted better skin. I wanted to, you know, lose all the menopause symptoms, which I have. Like, I was actually having 30 power surges a day, like horrific, sweaty, horrible power surges a day. And I had been exercising, but I wasn't really doing the weights that heavy. And the second I switched back to this with the fist and the cardios that I've shown you and the weights that I have shown you, bang, gone. I mean, those power surges, gone. Periods actually came back. And I realize that can happen, but all of the symptoms that come with menopause and the skin and everything, all of those symptoms are gone. And now my skin doesn't look like I'm 54 years old, and that is because I'm actually doing what I've just explained. My skin looks better, my health is better, the skin all over my body is actually better. Yes, and I'm losing body fat. So I think I showed you a before and after before. Did I? I think I did. So I'll show you again. Here's some more before and afters. Here's where I'm at, just at the moment. And I started on July 22nd for this round. But this isn't just, oh, let's see where she gets in X amount of months. My goal is 9 months, I suppose. But I haven't really set in myself an actual deadline because this is a lifetime thing. Usually I find that anyone who would be watching anything like this is a high achiever. They probably work really hard at the things that they do. They might have mixed success, that they find themselves trying really hard to look after themselves, but they're busy, usually a professional, or everybody is absorbing their time, and trying to find pockets of time to actually do things that matter to them is a real challenge. If that is you, well, that's me too. The other area that I'm looking to help myself in is real connections. I get lots of connections through my work. I'm a very social butterfly. However, in a small country town, building connections is the area that I'd like to work on the most, but with high achievers like you, but with someone like you who is actually trying to achieve things and is actually taking step-by-step action in order to get there. And sometimes you struggle along and you need a little bit of a team. So I've started a group. The first month is free. If that interests you, man, I just need connections. And if you're finding yourself sitting there going, you know what, yeah, I'm transforming areas of my life too. I'm transforming a whole bunch of different areas. So if that interests you, go to the video here, because my last video actually explains all the areas of my life that I'm transforming. And some of those might be what you're transforming, and it doesn't really matter what you're transforming. You're probably a high achiever and you're probably actually need a bit of a community too. But this is not for you, this community group. We just meet on a Saturday, 12 o'clock on a Saturday in Australian Eastern Standard Time, which is possibly a Friday evening wherever you are in the world. So be warned about that. If that interests you, please come along and join. We're only going to be doing it for half an hour because we're all time poor, and we'll be actually going through the strategies that you're using, what you're planning in the next week, what is working, what isn't working. We're sharing a couple of stories between us about, you know, how we are and why we want what we want and where we're going and what we're trying to achieve. But my point is that having a group is, if that is something that you know that you're going to take action on anyway, if there's something that you know that you're going to be forging ahead, but you're just doing it on your own and you don't really have a team, this is the reason for the group. And just check in with yourself if that resonates with you. And if it does, just join. The first month is free. And we'll be meeting weekly, as I said, on the Saturday in Australian Eastern Standard Time. So I would love to see you there, because the connections is the next thing that I really need to build in my life. And that could be with you. And that would be so cool. Yeah. Okay. That is my story. If you have any questions or anything about the physical aspects of what's being done, just message me, send me a comment, and I'll surely reply and answer any questions that you might have. And if you're interested in personal training and you think, oh, is anyone going to know what this Body for Life thing is? Well, my husband's a personal trainer. He runs Visible Difference and he's a bodybuilder too. And he has done Body for Life for years and he's in fact doing it right now. So if you need help with your personal training, look, I'm not saying that to sell anything. He just happens to be a personal trainer and he knows exactly what Body for Life is and he can help you if you've got injuries or illness or whatever. Anyway, that is not something that I'm trying to sell you. That is just a fact. That's what's available. So if you are interested in getting in contact with him, just message me in the comments below and I'll make sure he gets in touch with you because he knows all about it. And what's more, he knows all about what it's like to be an endomorph. He knows all about what it's like to have high blood pressure. He knows all about what it's like to have high blood sugar issues, injuries, illness, and how to work around all of that. If that's you, well, you can't go wrong. He actually specializes in people who don't fit the norm. He actually specializes and helps rehab people if they've got any illness, injury. Anyway, I felt like I was supposed to say that. Now, I imagine that no one is watching this point, but if you are, I usually end, if I feel like it, if there's any downloads that come from Spirit, feel free to sign off if that's not for you, but I'm going to see if there's any messages that they need to send to you or to me, and I'll do that now. Just bear with me while I set it up. All I do is take a deep breath in, heavy sigh out, smile, and then I see what comes. So they say this is what they need to know for today, how it is that you've gotten your body from where it was to where it is now. They say to tell the Body for Life again, the name of it, which is Body for Life by Bill Phillips. Not something I produced. I'm not selling you anything here about that. This is just something that I'm doing and just in sharing what I'm doing. They're saying there's 3 people watching this right now who need to know about Body for Life and to look it up. They're saying in 24 hours and look at the information to find out what it's about, which is basically what I've just gone through. Because you will understand with all of the before and after photos, all through the Bill Phillips Body for Life book, what's possible. And it, like when you read it, it's a late 90s book, so it might appear old, but I tell you what, there's nothing in there that is old. It is all very real and current and it works. Is there anything else you want to say? They're saying, you know, you can't keep putting it off and just not getting around to it. It's time. Right. Is that it? They also say the name Bill, Susan, Jill, Naomi, Karen. Those are all the names that have come through. I don't know. Comment if that means anything to you. I feel like an idiot when names come through like that. Anyway, I'll never ask you to like or subscribe on this channel, and I'll only ever give you raw truth and anything that comes through in order to help you and myself. So I'm going to sign off now. I'd love to see you in our group because connections and a team to work towards your goals together is my mission.